All right. I'm going to probably try to splice this later on, but just to give a recap to the folks as we continue, Brandon had just explained, and I'm definitely going to get that in, so I don't need you to go through all that again, but I'm going to just let everyone know that he explained the reason for the title of his website, which is My Beautiful Life, and I think that's a great title. I want you to know, not only is it a beautiful life, but you also have a beautiful picture, and I believe it's with your mother on there. Can you hear me?
My grandmother, she raised me. Yeah, my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's. So one of the reasons I did want to ask you, other than the fact that I'm very impressed, but you did good work for juveniles. You and I have a lot in common. Me on one end, and you going with you. Just give us a quick, if you could, type of juveniles you have coming in there. Is it all criminal? Is it drug and alcohol, or what is it?
Alcohol and drug as well.
Now, do they offer within your out of jail treatment centers while they're in there? Can they attend?
A lot of services that is available. We set them up with places for them to continue the recovery from there. The harm that they cause in society towards themselves and to others. A plan to get them to stay on track after leaving.
When you are you very biased? I mean, do you find them to be guilty?
It's not so much that I look at it as if they're guilty or whatnot. You're here. I'm locking you up and tossing the key out, and the supervision from when you're a young child, maybe at birth. Home or at the school, wherever they're at, because a lot of the reports will show the dates and stuff, and it looks like, you know, when these things happen, things happen. Are they either watching you, or are they somewhere else, or really important that we really take a deep look at what we're seeing on regular television. Messages that's really putting out there, and it's very, very scary and concerning. And you know, where do you come up with all of these things? You wasn't born to just say, I want to be a come out of, you know, birth and think these things. You have to. You're going to be for the rest of your life. It's really, you know, so that's the biggest. When you're a young child growing up to this age right now, yeah, and so that be very open, very really listen with not an intent to reply, but just to listen and just really, because they probably never had that opportunity to just say, this is what's really going on with me. And it's just very emotional, it's very traumatic, it's very and you know what? That's why I love my job. Because when I see that, I'm also putting those questions in my life to ask myself, what is it that I have not been able to discuss or let out and, confront my own issues. So when I see a young juvenile working his issues and trying to take baby steps to really, shoot out there and be, work in a right path in his life that he chooses to live, I also look at it as, I'm inspired by this young man that I need to also try to see where I'm at in life. And it's like a win-win. And that's the love is huge for me. It's about win-win. A lot of people I always see is always lose-lose or win-lose. Very rarely you're going to see win-win, because they want people to say that someone has to take a sacrifice. But no, I will go do whatever it takes. And that's exactly my quote, whatever it takes, win-win.
Well, it's funny you use that analogy on two sides. The first side is I always say you can have God in your life without addiction, but you cannot fight addiction without God in your life. And that is a win-win, because without guidance and direction, and whether you're religious or not, but without guidance and direction, your life, not you, but like I'm an alcoholic, I've learned to live with my disease. But if I was so good at guiding and directing my life, it wouldn't have crumbled around me. So I do believe that even juveniles, any prisoner has to have that sense of hope. And in my case, my hope is my God, whoever you might wish for. And on the other thing, I just want to touch up on what you just mentioned is, if you've seen a lot of my shows, I emphasize role modelship. And in your home, there are 4 things that I always say that should never happen in the home in front of your children. Number 1 is smoking. 2 is drinking. 3 is profanity. And of course, the biggest one is domestic abuse. Those 4 things, I mean, everybody's entitled. All I'm saying, if we do it away from our children will turn out better. If monkey see, monkey do. They look at you as their hero. So if they hear you cursing or smoking, but on the other hand, just to touch up, and I always say add these 4 things into home respect. The same with your prisoners: love, compassion, and emotion. If you have those 4, I'm going to ask you just a question. These questions are based just on, even listen to if you don't want to answer them or whatever, but you already answered the biggest things that you're going to see a lot of your juvenile, should I say prisoners? Inmates, right? Inmates. Resident. Oh, well, that's a political clients, residents, but I mean a lot of them, and that is peer pressure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I came up with some. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I came up with a fact: alcohol and drugs are a leading cause.
I agree.
Okay. Another fact that I came with is alcohol and drugs are the leading factors in Oscar.
Yes, I have to agree. I do.
This 3 million people over the age of 12 are addicted to alcohol and drugs within America.
It is.
Let me go right to the question here for you. Why do you think the age of a young person, it's, and I think you've already addressed some of that already, but I'll let you.
As far as
obviously, the younger they start, the worse it's going to probably become for them, correct?
Yes. In college, and it was embedded habits that's going to steer you for the rest of your life. 50%. You just added 30% more. Amazing that 4-year versus the how the professor was explaining that. And they were doing a lot of studies and they were coming up with a lot of research. It's really the crucial part. That's going to be the foundation of how know what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. Responsibility. 18 years of age, that's when the environment comes in and you be ready. Then it goes on for the rest of your life. So, you know, and
yeah.
We don't remember memory-wise, but our behaviors, our actions, our attitude, our shows.
Next question. Something that I really admired about youngsters, sort of possible counseling to help. I mean, everybody's got. This is not. This is what I do for passion because it's God's calling for me. I'm an optician. Consider continuing your mission in life, other than working on your website.
See that because it's something that I also need. My life will stop too because this is my life. This is why you know. And you mentioned about working, getting hired in 2001. He did, and only he can take me out of this job. And you know, we cannot even compare our ability. Accept and trust and faith, you know, that's a big word. It's really 50%. All right, Lord, you know, I don't know what. You know, do it, and then everything just makes sense, but you just can't explain. And I know it can get very confusing when I say like this to the kids, because the kids are very. Not a one-day thing, you know, it's a process, and you know what, I make every day count with these kids. You're not guaranteed to wake up tomorrow if you go to bed tonight. You're not guaranteed that life. So it's really important that before you go to bed, you think before you close your eyes. And close your eyes and feel complete, like, hey, you know, I did everything today and I feel great. You say, Lord, thank you so much for blessing me this beautiful day and the strength and the first thing I want to do is wake up and say, thank you, Lord, for giving me another day. That is the everyday thing. You know, you got to have your water, you got to have your food, and you got to have those. To me, it's important. And I hate to use the word you got to sometimes. It's almost like fortune, but you know what? When you make sure you get your message across strong.
Exactly.
And, you know, you got to convince that. And that's where.
Is that if you let the sunshine into your home and into your heart, you'll get it now for your what do you call residents now? I believe truly dumps. People tell them that they're no good, they're worth nothing. If you let them know when they come out, they'll have better results than if they sit in there, mope around, to put in, and are being told not only by you, if you are going to do that, but by
exactly. And that's a very big concern, is that when we mold children and we teach them these skills and these tools that they never had in their life, and that is where I struggle very much. Because we know we live in rural Alaska. It's a hub to many surrounding villages by river, by summer, or by snow machine. To almost nothing. And you know, and the kids, of course, they grow up saying, "Well, I love my elders. Of course, I want to go home." And then, and you know, I don't have that right to have when we come back, because yes, that is your family. Yes, you do love them, and yes, you do want to be with them. And that's where we, right there, that's where you say, you know, now, and maybe even a community at one day at a time, one soul at a time, and go. It really is a very difficult accepting contact. You know, hey, call me at the facility. Let me know how you're doing. If you ever come to Bethel Fort, you know, give me a call. Let's have lunch. I mean, let me know how you're doing. You know, this is not only Mr. Whitefoot at Bethel Youth Facility, but it is really blog. Here's my website. Check them out. You know,
give out the information.
Yeah. I mean, the website is www.brandonwhitefoot.com. IPA.
All right.
All right. Is that what I think he's doing and whatnot? And again, it is my life. And all this is learning steps for me to go through, and I blog, and I thought I was alone, and I felt I couldn't talk to anybody, but this guy. With a lot of emails, I get flooded, and it's really hard to keep up. Short stories and keep it on a daily basis, and it really. And I thought, oh wow, you know, I got a guy all over the East Coast, and you know, and but then when more people started flooding emails and comments, and you know, and the feedback was just beautiful. Oh, you just trying to do this, or you just trying to do that, and you know, and okay. And you know, you can do that. That's your life, because that is your choice, and this is my.
One of the reasons I reached out to you is because we do have that connection indirectly. Displaying my eyeglass frames and walking the streets in Bethel. A native on a snow machine taking me, and I had a really bad accident. They give me a settlement from, you know, workman's comp settlement because of the accident, but you know, everything. I probably would have never touched base. I mean, like you, I get a lot of good feedback. Addiction or whatever, and you're going to get remarks like that, but that's okay, because like you said, do you think people can get addicted just by trying drugs and alcohol? Like young
tolerance, I mean, and we're not talking in the genes or in not just only drugs and alcohol. There's a lot of other stuff that they have different tolerance.
I truly believe that could lead to other drugs. Do you agree or disagree? You give me your reason, but it's possibly due to peer pressure.
Strong word. It's going to be very controversial. And the word I want to bring up is tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the indigenous people. They were brought up on tradition, and whatever. And I think a lot of them is about loyalty, it's about respect, it's about being, great ancestors all did. So you have to get that lineage, and with that, that's going to fail you. People, I hate to use the word. People say, "Well, I feel like I'm going to disrespect." Why aren't you happy? And again, be real about it. Don't look at what people think of. Whatever it has to be, change it to positive, because it takes hard work. And throughout all those positive steps that you take, you're going to really listen to yourself. What you have to care for yourself first before you consider what people care.
Remember, Sunday was always a tradition, being with your family. I call a legal drug dealer living in every household, and what I call him to always keep things that are in there that can be addictive to some people, especially Alaska, should worry about prescription drugs when the real problem are legal drugs like cocaine, heroin, and meth. In other words, cabinet. But don't you agree that they should also worry what's on the outside of their medicine? cocaine, marijuana, meth.
Your home, but everywhere else as well. Even outside of Alaska, even outside of the United States, going around the entire world.
Exactly.
You know, and it's very difficult to process. These are end times. These are things that already have been predicted. Don't be surprised. It has been written for thousands of years. These are the things that's been happening. This is what is supposed to step on people who are non-believers, but I'm not going to go over here and play like I want to offend you. No, my intent is not to offend. My intent is to express who I am. I'm being honest, 100%. I am not about to lie because I'm afraid of the truth, or I'm just going to hold back a little bit because I'm afraid to hurt your feelings. That was out there not saying anything. Don't want to speak up because, well, I don't want to upset him or her. I don't want to make it worse. And then I have to suffer for not being real. And to me, that's when I have groups with some of the kids, or when I have a one-on-one talk with anyone in life, I have permission to be very openly honest and give you honest feedback. And if it says, yeah, I say this with love and compassion and with great honesty and nothing less. And this is what. And then the big bang happens.
But you know what? It goes back. If I didn't have a thing called hope, and my hope is my God. My wife and God, I probably would be dead at this point. And that God has kept me alive a few times. I don't know if you remember Beirut, 1981. I took a shot to my chest. I went through the bombing, made it out alive. Out alive, and I at least could have had 2 to 3 overdoses and alcoholism. So the God hope. So be it, right?
That's right.
We want to believe in, but I do want to thank you for taking this. I mean, I can rely on you to possibly give us another. You will see a copy of this probably by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Your own plugs better than I can. Plug your website, please, for me again.
Yes. BrandonWiper.com. All right.
And you're a busy guy, so thanks so much, and I will thank you even more then, and I'm going to shut this off now, but this was Brandon, and Wiper, right?
No, it's Wiper. It's like the letter Y. Wiper.
Because I said Whopper, and I'm like, am I hungry or something? One question for the audience needs to know. It is November 16th. It is November. Alaska, what is the weather like?
You know, to be honest, you're going to be shocked. We are supposed to be having snow already, but it is 43. It's muddy because we just had the recent typhoon that came from Japan that stirred. And so it sent all that cold air down to the United States. So you stole our winters right now.
We'll send them back.
I don't want them either, actually. I like that. No.
Brandon, for making the Take Your Life Back Today show. And I just want everybody to ask. And do remember, folks, that Alaska is United States. I hear this. Something there, like you would travel all, but it is 4,500 miles away from New York. And I envy you folks, and I'll tell you why real quick before I go. I would live in New York with mine, and I'll tell you why. Because it is a safer, more tradition of doing other things that are out there, like in New York City, and that's how I'm going.
That is a great way to really open up people's less temptation. That is very true.
Yeah. Brandon, I want to thank. Try to remember when you do retire doing what you're doing, try to work with the youngsters, continue doing. But I am with the people, and I know that God puts us all here for a reason. Have yourself a safe day, and more importantly, have a blessed day.
Thank you, Ralph. Aloha from Malawi.